Hi, 5th grade. Welcome to Lesson 10-4, Adding Mixed Numbers. Your learning goal for tonight is to use equivalent fractions as a strategy to add mixed numbers. Let's get started. All right, let's write down your learning goals for tonight. You need to add fractions with unlike denominators, including mixed numbers, which is mainly what we're going to be working on in this lesson is mixed numbers, by replacing given factors with equivalent fractions. You need to solve word problems involving addition of fractions, including unlike denominators. And you're going to use mental benchmark fractions to assess the reasonableness of answers. Take a minute, write your learning goals down, pause the video, write all of them down in your journal, then start the video again and continue the lesson. All right, no vocabulary words for tonight, so we're going to get right started with your lesson. Let's do an example together. 1 1/6 plus 2 2/3. As always, with our fractions, you must have common denominators in order to either add or subtract. So let's do this first. So 3 and 6, in order to find our common denominators, we need to find our least common multiple. All right, so let's list this out here. 3 and 6. Remember, skip counting again. 3 times 1 is 3, times 2 is 6, times 3 is 9. 6 times 1 is 6, 6 times 2 is 12. We can stop right here because we see that we have a 6 already. When you find common denominators for mixed numbers, which is what this is because you have a whole number and a fraction, you simply bring the whole number over after your equal sign. And I always like to bring it directly to the right of the number because that way you don't forget everything. So we bring our whole number over. We notice that 6 is our least common multiple because you see it in both numbers. So we bring our whole number over. In this fraction, 6 is already the common denominator here. So we simply bring 1/6 over. For here, 3 is our denominator, but it's not here. So we're going to write 6 here. What did it take to make 3 equal 6? 1, 2. So we're going to multiply that 3 by 2 to get 6. If you do it to the bottom, remember you have to do it to the top. So 2 times 2 is 4. So our new fraction is 1 1/6 plus 2 4/6. In order to do this, to make it much easier to solve, you want to add your whole numbers, add your fractions. So add your whole numbers first. 1 plus 2 is 3. Remember, your denominator doesn't change, so you don't add it, you simply bring it down. And then you add your numerators. 1 plus 4 is 5. I like to draw a square around my final answer because then you don't get it confused with anything else. So your answer is simply 3 5/6. All right, let's go on and let's do a practice and see how you can do on your own. 11 1/2 plus 10 3/5. Take a minute, solve that on your own. Pause the video, and when you're finished, start it again and we'll solve it together. All right, let's look at this. You have 2 and 5 as your denominators. We need to find our LCM. Remember, your least common multiple. List your 2 and your 5. Start skip counting or finding their multiples of 2 and 5. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. We're going to stop right there. 5, 10, 15. Stop when you find that common multiple. Between 2 and 5, 10 is your common multiple. If it's easier for you to do the make a cake strategy, remember that on the bottom layer of your cake, you're going to list 2 and 5. And on the outside, you're going to list that number that you know goes into both of those. Well, here, the only number that goes into both of those evenly is 1. 1 divides into 2, 2 times. 1 divides into 5, 5 times. When the only thing that can go into both of those, when you get both of these numbers twice, you know that your cake is done. So you multiply all of those numbers together. 1 times 2 times 5 equals 10. That shows you that 10 is your least common multiple. All right, so if you remember over here, I said before, simply bring your whole number over on both numbers. Bring it over to the side. 10 is your denominator. 10 here. Put your 10 there. What did it take to make 2 equal 10? We know that 2 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 equals 10. Whatever you multiply on the bottom, you have to multiply on the top, which is your numerator. So 5 times 2 is 10, 5 times 1 is 5. That becomes your new numerator. What did it take to make 5 equal 10? 1, 2. 5 times 2. If you do it to the bottom, you have to do it to the top. 3 times 2 is 6. Now, here's another strategy that you can use. You want to turn these into improper fractions. An improper fraction is where your numerator is larger than your denominator. So we're going to try this strategy. So we're going to multiply that together and then add this. So 10 times 10 is 100 plus 6 is 106. We're going to put 106 on the top, and 10 is your denominator. We're going to place it on the bottom. Over here, 10 times 11 is 110. Multiply and add. 110 plus 5 is 115. Put that over 10 because that's your denominator. I'm going to show you two different strategies. You could have either added 11 plus 10 is 21, kept your denominator the same, and then simply added 5 plus 6. But then you would have noticed you would have had to reduce again because you cannot have a numerator larger than your denominator. Okay? This strategy I'm showing you on this side is going to help you do one step instead of this multiple step here. So you would have added 115 plus 106. Your denominator stays the same, so you would have simply brought down 10. 115 plus 106. 5 plus 6 is 11. Carry a 1. 1 plus 1 plus 0 is 2. 1 plus 1 is 2. So you would have ended up with 221 over 10. When you have an improper fraction, remember I said before that this sign means to divide. So you would divide 10 into 221. So let's do this up here where we have a little bit of room. So you're going to take your denominator, divide it into your numerator. 10 divides into 22 2 times. 10 times 2 is 20. Subtract, you're going to get 2. Bring down your 1. 10 divides into 21 1 time. 2 times, sorry about that. 10 times 2 is 20. Subtract, you have a remainder of 1. So 10 divides into 221 22 whole times. 22 whole times. Remember, your denominator stays the same. It is 10. Your remainder is 1. I'm going to put a large square around this because remember, that's my answer. Now back to this one. Notice it was 21 plus 11 over 10. If you divide 10 into 11, it goes one whole time. You would add that whole to the 21, which would give you 22. You'd have 1 left over, and 10 is your denominator. If you do this procedure, it makes it easier to get to your final answer. It's just the way you can do it, an easier way to get from an improper fraction to a mixed number. All right, let's do another one. All right, 3 8/9 plus 8 1/2. Solve this problem on your own, pause the video, and then start it again, and we'll do it together. All right, let's see how you did. Let's find our LCM between 2 and 9. Simply skip counting. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, and 18. Skip count by 9, 9, 18, 27. Stop when you see your common denominator or your common multiple, which is 18. If you decided to do the cake method, you would have 2 and 9. Draw that. 1 goes into 2 twice, 1 goes into 9 9 times. If you multiply those together, 1 times 2 times 9 is 18, same as your common multiple here. All right, again, let's bring your whole number over. Put your common denominator there. Bring your 8 over, put your common denominator. What did it take for 2 to equal 18? If you count all the way over, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, you multiplied by 9. Remember, if you do it on the bottom, you need to do it on the top. 1 times 9 is 9. 9 times what is 18? It's 2. 8 times 2 is 16. All right, let's try our trick again. We're going to add these together, but first we're going to turn them into an improper fraction. So we're going to multiply here, add here, multiply here, add here. 8 times 18, 8 times 18, 64, and then you're going to get 144. So 144 plus 9, remember your denominator stays the same. We're going to add 9, it's 153 over 18. 3 times 18 is 54. So here, then you're going to add your 16 to it, because you have to add your numerator, is going to be 70. So you have 70 over 18. Now you're ready to add both of these together. Your denominator is going to stay the same because denominator always stays the same. You have 153 plus 70. 0 plus 3 is 3. 7 plus 5 is 12. Carry your 1. You have 223 over 18. Now remember, the division sign just looks just like the fraction sign, so 18 divides into 223. We simply need to do that. 18 divides into 223. 18 divides into 22 one time. You need to subtract that. You'll get 4. You need to bring down your 3. 18 can divide into 43. Let me think without putting it down. 2 times. That'll be 36. If you subtract 36 from 43, you'll have 7 left over. So this is your whole number because 18 goes into 223 12 whole times. 12 is your whole number. Then you have 7 left over. 7 is your numerator. Your remainder becomes your numerator. Your denominator stays the same. Always reduce just like this. Put a square around your number. It's easier to find that way. And then you are done. All right, let's do one more. Between 5 and 6, look for your common denominator, solve your problem, start the video again as soon as you're finished. All right, let's do this together. Least common multiple between 5 and 6. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. 6. 6 times 1 times 2 times 3 times 4 times 5. 30 is our common denominator. So again, if you'll bring your whole number over, what did it take for 5 to equal 30? You multiplied by 6, so you multiply by 6 on the top. 2 times 6 is 12. Here, you multiplied by 5, so 5 times 5 is 25. Then, again, you need to do the very same thing. Multiply and add. Multiply and add. So, 30 times 2 is 60, plus your 12 is 72 over 30. On the bottom here, 30 times 5 is 150, plus 25 is 175 over 30 because your denominator stays the same. When you add those together, remember, just bring your denominator down. 72 plus 175. 5 plus 2 is 7. 7 plus 7 is 14. Carry a 1. Then you're going to need to, once you get this improper fraction, remember the division sign, and then 30 divides into 247. 30 goes into there 8 times. That's 240 with a remainder of 7. 8 is your whole number. 7 is your remainder. Your denominator stays the same. All right. All right, we're going to skip the word problem for tonight and go right to the challenge problem. Amanda's library books weigh 4 3/8 pounds, and her water bottle weighs 1 7/16 pounds. What is the total weight of her books and her water bottle? Her book bag weighs 1.5 pounds. When she carries her book bag with the water bottle and books in it, how much weight is she carrying? Complete this for tomorrow and bring it in. We'll check it in class. All right, let's finish up. Review your learning goals. Did you get everything done? You've completed 10-4, and I will see you.